Kirk Cousins was so confident before halftime of the Redskins' 38-24 NFC East clinching victory over the Eagles that he took a knee in the red zone with 6 seconds left on the clock. It was a rare moment of mercy on an evening where the Redskins, inexplicable plays aside, asserted their dominance over and snuffed out the postseason chances of a bitter division rival. So many guys had good games in this one. We're going to have fun talking about it. Plus, we got to talk about who's going to play it next week and look ahead to the playoffs. So get excited, Hogstires, for the post-game recap and the first annual Hogstie pre-postseason pre-game show. We'll see you there next.
It's the Hogstie.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Hogstie. What a show we have, because the Redskins have clinched the NFC East. It's a huge moment for us. My name's Sean Conti. I got the usual crew here today. It's Alex Zeese.
I went to a bunch of Philly blogs and read all the comments from sad Philadelphians and licked their tears of sadness. And
we should do that on the show. That's a great idea.
I thought you were going to say you stomped on their tears of sadness.
I just
That's Steve Thomas, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, folks. It's a big victory Sunday. Who would have thunk it? You know,
not me 10 weeks ago.
A couple months ago.
For sure.
Not even the biggest homer would have thunk it.
Preseason Sean thunk it. He said 9-7. Remember?
God, oh my God!
Yeah.
And I said 8-8.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
One of you two guys is going to be exactly
I have
right.
somebody that I need to text right now that gave me a lot of shit for saying that in our show.
Was it your mom?
Well, yeah, her too. What about you, Mr. Robbie Duncan? Were you surprised?
No, I knew we were going to win. I didn't want to say it during our preview podcast, but I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I don't just like it. I love it.
Woo! Amen
I
to
think
that.
we need to go to the arts and crafts store and create a little banner to hang in one of our studios for
Absolutely.
the Redskins first.
The Hogstie Studios.
Exactly.
That's right.
Is this what did you say this was, Sean? It's our post-game, pre-show?
Let me see. What did I say? I got to look that up again.
You got to reread it.
I was trying to see if it actually
made sense. It was the pre-postseason pregame show.
There we go.
It checks out. It checks out.
Title.
Don't think about it too hard,
like it.
and it checks out just fine.
Show title.
It was making my head hurt.
All right, so we got so much to talk about, guys. I guess we gotta talk about the game. Obviously, we should do that up front, but we also need to talk about potential playoff matchups, which is a very exciting topic, because potential for another Seahawks matchup there.
Bring it on.
Exciting stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the game, and let's start on offense because we saw some good shit last night, guys.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Go ahead.
I think we need to start with Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is... I don't know how he managed to not make the Pro Bowl, or I guess maybe he's an alternate. He is just unbelievable. I don't know. I got to look the stats up on it because I'm going to venture a guess that we probably haven't won a game where he hasn't.
I bet you that's
Well,
true.
he's been balling out of late. I think this is 5 games where he's had 2 TDs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, he had at least like a fourth
I mean,
of our total offensive yardage, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, his second touchdown was the exact same play they ran last week against Buffalo, and the exact same play, only Crowder was the receiver, and they
Right.
still can stop him. The guy is just completely unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you talking about this? Was that second touchdown? Was that the Y option touchdown where he kind of shook the guy off in the middle and
Yep.
broke inside? Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because the receiver drew off the safety, and then there was space, and Reed broke inside on like a skinny
the first
post
touchdown
kind of thing.
he scored on was also
And-
something we ran against Buffalo too, I believe, where we had 2 guys kind of going up and crossing in deep, and the last time we threw it to Garcon, who was the outside guy, and this time we threw it to the inside. So, I mean, such a great little play call when you're about 20 yards out.
Yeah. Anything that gets him in a mismatch to take advantage of. I mean, especially that one against Michael Kendricks, the same play we're talking about. Kendricks was trying to cover him, and it was a complete joke of an attempt to try to cover Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a shout-out to Pierre Garcon.
Of course.
He was making some incredibly tough catches that really put us in good situations. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, beside the fact that Kirk had his brain fart and took a knee instead of spiking the ball or throwing.
We got to talk about that separately for sure.
He got us in position to get in that scoring range with that incredible sideline catch.
Why is he has come, especially in the latter half of the season, he has really come up clutch in big moments, and that was definitely true last night. I wanted to say about Jordan Reed, prime candidate, by the way, for sitting out next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that.
Let's wait on. You want to have that discussion?
Well, let's keep talking
now,
about
or do it
offense
later?
first.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
I don't know how you cannot give a hand to all the receivers. Deshaun Jackson, after the game, coming on and saying, "This wasn't about me having revenge. I don't care that I didn't get, the big play stats."
Yeah, but he did.
Well, but he's saying the right things. And he's not coming across as insincere, at least.
True.
So
true.
No, I mean, we'll have to see the All-22 film, but my guess is they had a safety kind of shaded his way probably the entire game because it didn't look like he had really.
They did not
that's one of
want
the things
to
he
get
pointed
beat by
out
him.
immediately after the game.
Yeah, they did not want to get beat by him.
No.
Chip Kelly got a save face in whatever way he can.
And that's what got Garcon in so many good chances. They were worried about Jordan Reed, they were worried about Deshaun Jackson, and then boom, Pierre Garcon, 6 catches? Was it, Steve?
No, more.
7
Pierre
catches.
Garcon had 7 catches, 80 yards. I'll just go over the wide receiver stats real fast. Jordan Reed, 9 catches, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, long of 28, average 14.3. Pierre Garcon, 7 for 80, 11.41 TD. Pierre Thomas, our new running back, 7 catches, 67 yards. Deshaun had 4 catches, 40 yards. Ryan Grant came through with a catch, 1 catch, 24 yards. And
Pierre
goes down
Thomas,
from
another
there.
amazing signing by Scott McLuhan.
Oh, yeah. Just
we got to talk about that too, because
out.
why does he seem to have so much more success where the other guys are not able to put it together? I know he had a good day through the air, but he also had some clutch runs.
He did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could hypothesize. I would say maybe the fact that he came in late in the season, he's fresher. He's in game 2. Some of these guys have been playing 20-something games.
That's a good point.
Preseason.
Well, there's that, but he's also
he's
just
been
a good running back
for
I
years.
don't know why he left. New Orleans, but he's a quality running back. He's a little older, now, and that's probably why, he didn't get a shot with anybody but us.
He had Mark Ingram and C.J. Spiller. I think they just kind of ran him out of town because of the two of them. Yeah, but he's always been a very solid. I consider him like Liddell Betts, the same type of running back.
Better
maybe not as good of a
hands
runner
than
as Liddell was, but receiving wise, he's one of the best.
Well, and this is a question for another day, maybe. But I mean, I personally, maybe I'm the only one, but I haven't been all that impressed with Matt Jones this year. It makes me wonder whether Pierre Thomas may take over the number 2 running back spot next year.
He keeps doing things like he did last night. How could you say no?
Yeah,
I don't know about next year, but I think definitely the whole Matt Jones being sat out because of injury was kind of out of left field. I think that was more so a benching than it was a injury. I mean, I think he could have played, but I mean, to be fair, Matt Jones had been a bit of a knucklehead the past couple weeks. I mean, he had some total lack of focus plays, the illegal motion, and
throwing the ball down after getting tackled.
I mean, I think Matt Jones is just his rookie wall. It happens.
Yeah, but he wasn't consistent in the first place, so that was my problem with Matt. Some rookie running backs can be consistent. That's one of the only positions where rookies can excel is as a running back. And, nobody expected him to be Todd Gurley, but I expect him to be a little bit more consistent.
Those are questions we really – we'll get to it once the offseason comes for us. But, I'll just say I would hesitate to ever say that a guy who's, over the 30 marker at running back should be in your, ledger as your number 2 guy.
Oh, maybe not. I mean, I was just throwing that out there because, I mean, he's looked good in his opportunities because he had, 1 catch last week, I think?
Yeah, I think
you said
so
he's looked pretty good.
Or yesterday?
No, he had 6 catches for 67 yards, and as a running back, he was 4 for 4 carries, 22 yards for 5.5 yard average. Alfred Morris was 17 carries, 49 yards, 2.9 yard average.
Yeah, and he got a couple first downs.
He's more of the 2 back than Chris Thompson is. Obviously, I mean Pierre Thomas can do pretty much anything a running back is asked to do, while Thompson he's not the in between the tackles type of runner. Yeah, you got to get him on the edge and get him out in open field type thing.
I mean, this was another game where we didn't have really a successful running attack per se. It had its moments. It kind of went downhill as the game rolled on. Somehow we're getting by in these games without having a running attack. I'm concerned in the playoffs that's
less
not going to
than
be the case.
what? Less than 80 total yards
Yeah.
rushing. Full game.
Yeah, it was 67 yards rushing.
67 yards rushing.
Well, and
yeah,
that includes
Yep.
some lost yards by sacks, because if you total the running backs, then you're in the 70s.
Only took a couple sacks though.
No, well, that includes negative
Right.
4 yards for Kirk Cousins. There are some of those scramble sacks. If you want to just add up Morrison, Thomas, that is 71.
We got to talk about sacks because we got a couple of those on defense, but I feel like we're missing plenty on offense too in a wonderful performance.
Well,
we got to talk about
Cousins,
Kirk
right?
of all people.
120 rating again. So
there you go.
How many?
I had to go argue with another group of people this week about how they think I hate Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Steve, you really
because
have
you've
to
made the
not
mistake
be
of
so
recording
hateful
yourself
and,
talking about. See, we've all made this mistake.
I just said, you know what I told him? I said, I was always honest about where he was statistically. In the beginning of the year, he wasn't good. Statistically, he sucked. He's improved tremendously, and he's earned himself a spot on the team probably as long as Jay Gruden is here. I know.
Well, definitely next year.
Yesterday,
a guy going out of the season as hot as he is, you can't say he shouldn't be the starter at least for another year and see if he can keep going.
He's not going to keep this up. He's not going to maintain this for a career.
No.
I mean, he would be a Hall of Famer, if he did. So he's going to have his ups and downs, but he's been on a roll for the past 5 weeks?
And whether or not he's going to do this next year, that's a question for the offseason because the fact of the matter is he's on a roll right now, and I think it was SB Nation, somebody had him ranked like the number 7 starting quarterback in the NFL or something. Redskins power rankings were up to 12 or something this week. So it's kind of ridiculous because if you think about it, we didn't put back-to-back wins together until after week 10. We just broke even in record. It's probably, people are getting a little too hyped. But, there's great play.
Here's what I see. I think we're just basically heating up at the exact time, the perfect time to heat up. Kirk's heating up. The team itself is heating up. It may not be perfect, but we're finding ways to win, and it's working.
You're damn right it's working.
Kirk is going to make himself some money this offseason, whether it's with us or somebody else, because of how he's been playing in December. Your play in December is very important. It's important all throughout the season, but December is where it all really counts. If you want to get into
the thing that I keep on pointing to, whenever people are like, well, they didn't win a road game, or look at their schedule and their record and all, their schedule was front-loaded. It really was. All the tougher teams seem to have been, in that first 8 weeks.
Yes, but keep in mind.
Well, we
didn't play a single team with a winning record.
No.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Our away schedule was pretty damn hard too, though.
Well, we didn't beat a team with a winning record.
Beat a team. But the Jets were good. They're a good team because they have a very good defense.
Yeah, and they're looking at not making
teams,
the playoffs with a great record, which is crazy.
We beat teams that beat teams with winning records, if that counts for anything.
Yeah, what the Eagles beat the Patriots.
Eagles did beat the Patriots. Come on.
Yeah, looking back on it, seems a little fluky because, the Eagles really executed poorly.
That's been their MO all season.
I counted 8 penalties. Yeah, I counted 8 penalties yesterday for them, and of those 8, 6 of them were either encroachment, or some kind of illegal formation penalty,
or some kind of weird
execution.
Guy running onto the field to field a punt last second.
and you had Kentuan Barner, dropped balls that hit him right in the hands. You had Sam Bradford missed 2 obvious touchdown passes. If they had executed better, it would have been a whole different game. We out-executed them. We didn't make mistakes. I didn't think Kirk Cousins had a great game yesterday. I think Jordan Reed really makes him look good, and that's good. He had a couple plays that were inexplicable. I don't know what that kneel down thing at the end of the first half was.
Just a brain fart.
That's the only thing.
That is what Kirk Cousins still has. He still is a little nervy. He gets a little yippy, a little nervous. He still stares people down. He gets a little jitters, and he's gonna do shit like kneel down with 6 seconds on the clock.
I hate to imagine what this week would be like if we ended up losing, and because of that,
I would fear for him
because we left points on the board. We left those points on the board. We left, I think, probably a touchdown on the board.
The extra point.
Yeah, extra point. You know, but again, the Eagles did too. And the key to winning any sporting event, especially football, is you have to out execute your opponent. Did we look great yesterday? No, but we were better.
Yes,
than
and
the
I mean
Eagles.
here.
And this is not a case of the Eagles beating themselves. Yeah, they didn't execute well, but our pass rush delivered.
Was on point.
You know, our stars delivered.
We had like
Jordan
80
Reed
yards
delivered.
and sacks
Al-
or something like that.
Our secondary
Yeah.
was
We'll get to the
solid for the
defense.
most part through most of the game.
Well, let's just.
Black.
Well,
yeah.
I just wanted to say this too before we get too far away from it. The stats on offense for these two teams. The shocking thing is they're almost the same in
Right.
terms of rushing yards, passing yards. They're almost the same. It's the turnovers really that Philadelphia offense committed. I
mean,
think that really won us the game.
The Eagles fumbled the ball
Bradford had
7
a-
times.
Exactly. See that.
And they're lucky
it
they
really
only
that
lost
many?
two
Well,
of them.
you know, that's what happens when Chip Kelly puts butter on his own football, what's going to happen?
DeMarco Murray had like two, right?
I mean,
some
Bradford
of those
passed
fumbles,
for-
especially in the third quarter. Yeah.
Well, it was raining too.
But-
You know, I mean, it wasn't the greatest
And it was
game
windy.
in the world.
No.
Again,
Yeah.
they just didn't execute. It's that's just what it is. I mean, Sam Bradford had 380
Right.
yards. 56
saying.
pass attempts, 380
Yeah,
yards. That's a
but-
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of let our foot off the gas finally in the fourth quarter. They started putting up a lot of yards in the late game.
Well, that and they had no running
Yeah.
game like we did.
Yeah.
You know, they had 45 yards.
had no
rushing
choice.
total, including. Yeah.
Let's mention the O-line. I thought they blocked pretty well most of the night. Morgan Moses' sack that he gave up to Fletcher
Right.
Cox what was, if you've been following me on Twitter and seeing the clips I post of him with his technique, that is what got him beat. And it's what's going to continue to get him beat in holding calls and stuff. The whole clapping thing, going down like a bear hug. As soon as he went to do that, Fletcher Cox basically, boom, hit him right in the inside his numbers and knocked him off balance, and it was just way too easy of a sack.
See, that's what Moses should be doing to Cox, right?
Yeah, you got to strike inside.
I mean, he's a good player. There's only so many matchups you can win with these guys. I mean, he's been. Go ahead.
Listen. Yeah, I mean, I thought, considering what we thought the Eagles were going to do, which is going to be just blitz all day long, I thought the O-line did a
They
pretty
did.
remarkable job of containing that outside the one, bad play by Moses.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing to watch for. But all in all, I mean, we haven't been having huge problems there, and it's been awesome to see. Defensively, obviously, we talked about getting pressure on Bradford because I thought that was a storyline all game. But also, we had good play in the secondary. D. Hall obviously had a good game. Goldson, I thought, had a good game. Breland had an okay game.
Right, right.
And got enough done there. I know we just said Bradford did enough through the air, but obviously we could keep him from scoring, which is what matters.
Well,
and the turnovers helped.
One drive in particular stands out for me with Breland, and that's when they did get the field goal, but they were in the red zone, and Breland broke up two big pass plays. Not back to back. I think it was first and third down.
Yeah.
And it's things like that. Okay, you didn't get a turnover, but you turned it from 7 points to 4 points, or 7 points to 3 points. There.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that. That's why we won this game.
Yeah, he too is another guy you probably could go back to every game and see a big play or two made by him
No
every
question.
week.
Let's talk about how big of a game Preston Smith had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh, my
love
gosh.
seeing
3
that.
sacks.
Yep, and the strip.
And did you hear what happened near the end of the game in the fourth quarter? Did you see the news on Twitter or anywhere?
I guess.
What, he got hurt?
I guess
Apparently,
not.
no. Apparently, Jason Peters, the left tackle that got his ass kicked by Preston Smith, basically took himself out of the game late in the fourth quarter, and reportedly said to the staff or whoever was talking to him, he said, "I'm not getting hurt for this."
He rage quit? He rage quit in real life?
Preston Smith kicked his ass so bad that Jason Peters quit
Wow.
the game.
Oh, my God.
How can any of his teammates have any
Yeah.
respect for him
Yeah.
after doing that?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I mean-
that creates a terrible environment.
I mean, can you imagine, Robbie, if you just said, in one of your games you were up against, I don't know, Oklahoma or somebody, and you were getting beat, and so you just said, you know what, I'm out, guys. Peace out. I'm going to go to the bench. Would your teammates have respected you?
Teammates aside, I mean, no, they wouldn't, but I would be crucified and banished from
Yeah.
the team by the coaches. I mean, the coaching staff
Well,
would
and
be
part of that's-
livid. They'd say tough shit, get back in the game.
Part of that's a college thing versus a pro thing. I mean, the coaching staff can't get rid of him. He's too valuable. But
no,
which is what empowers him to do childish shit like that.
Right.
That's a damn shame.
He made the Pro Bowl this year, didn't he?
He's an 8-time Pro Bowler. He's been one of the best left tackles in the NFL for
until he
years.
met Preston Smith.
Right.
And speaking of getting hot at the right time, Preston Smith is getting hot at the right time too. He is really coming on as a pass rusher.
I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about this when you were saying, did anyone see this tweet? But I remember seeing something as I was, flying home that the, veteran leadership in the locker room sat down Preston Smith at one point and said, you got to, get your act together. And that's kind of turned things around for him.
I mean, you look at him, he's got all the tools to be really, really good. I mean, he may not have the explosion like, some of these elite Von Miller type pass rushers, but he's got the range. No, he doesn't need that speed. He has a good first step. I mean, you don't have to have the elite speed to be a good explosive pass rusher. He's got that first step. He's got the long arms. He's got the muscle and the strength to really do whatever he wants with the linemen. So that's the exciting thing about him. He still hasn't all clicked, but when it does, I think he's going to be really special.
Yeah. I think it's worth a mention the veteran leadership this year. That Scott McGowan has brought in because last year I thought Jay Gruden was on the verge of losing the locker room. He really was. Maybe he did. I mean, we weren't there, but nobody kept the team together. And this year, McGowan brought in guys like Ricky Jean-Francois, who's not a starter but clearly is a strong veteran leader. Deshaun Golson, is most clearly a strong leader. Even young guys like Will Compton seem to be pretty vocal. Hatcher is another one, and I think those guys really appear, at least we're not there, but those guys bring the type of locker room that you need in a winning organization, which is what McGloin knows. So it really shows, what he's done for us.
Well, it's not just them. It's guys who've been here and are finally stepping back into those leadership roles, like D. Hall. I mean, he was gone most of last season.
D. Hall never left
he was
those
not
roles,
there to kind of provide that. And then Baker finally coming into his own. It's a lot. It's all across the board. We're seeing more and more leadership. I'm just going to call you out. No one ever said anything about Gruden ever losing the locker room last year, Steve. So you're just making it up in your little anti-Gruden head.
I'm looking at what I watched. The team quit basically last year on the season. Amidst all the chaos, and I do blame the coach for that.
No one has ever reported anything about the team quitting on him. The players love the guy.
Okay, well, you can just keep up your little Jay Gruden man love. That's fine. You can do that. But the simple fact of the matter is the team was not unified last year. And I do blame the head coach for that. This year has been much better. You have to give Jay credit. He's had a much better season overall than last year in many ways, and as part of that, the fact that the veteran leadership's there, probably so. But Jay's the coach, and he gets the credit.
Sure, and thank you to all the other teams of the NFC East for sucking so bad that dysfunctional team that's not very good has snuck in.
Well, yeah,
that's really what happened.
Because we're a mediocre team, folks. We're all happy and everything, but don't assume that we're anything but mediocre.
We're not world beaters.
We're not world beaters, and I fear a first-round destruction.
Remember, this is the team that got crushed by Carolina.
And if we face them in the playoffs, we'll get crushed by them again.
Carolina.
I don't think any of us have any illusions about that.
Right.
Well, and we got crushed by the Patriots, and the Patriots weren't even trying in that game. It really kind of shows where, we're all happy, but I mean, let's not harbor no illusions for this year.
We faced two of the three best teams in the NFL, which are going to be the Patriots, the Cardinals, and the Panthers, and we got our asses kicked. No one should be shocked by that.
Yeah,
this is a building year. We said it at the beginning, and it's just we lucked out.
Yeah. Well, other than the leadership that we have with this team, I think another thing that we really have is chemistry. In a sense of a family type thing. Yes. And the two people that really sticks out to me with that chemistry type of mentality is our two inside linebackers. Mm-hmm. Mason Foster and Will Compton seem to have quite the rapport. You know what I mean? They really seem to be best buds when they're out there on the field. And
I like Will Compton a lot. I know I was talking about Keenan Robinson the other week, but Will Compton.
And I really like Mason Foster, too. Foster's come in and been a...
He's always
been
around
a huge
the ball.
Surprise.
He's always around the ball.
He's
only 26, I think.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Mason Foster's only 26 years old. He was productive in Tampa Bay before they switched their defensive scheme.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what exactly we have right now with him, but right now we have a pretty decent starter that's come in off the field, off the streets, and been very reliable for us. Same for Will Compton.
I'd throw Jason Hatcher on that list too. I don't know if he's had the best statistical year necessarily, but he seems to be one of the glue guys that kind of holds the defense together. And he has had his moments, this year. So I think I would give Hatcher. He's
a great role player.
He
doesn't put himself above the team or anything. He does his job and does it well, I think.
I think that's actually a good way to describe a lot of our defense. It's a lot of guys who you don't have a lot of superstar talent on our defense, but you have guys who know they have a role, and that's they embrace it.
Yeah, I mean the real MVP of this season is Scott McLuhan.
Oh, no,
absolutely.
Jay Gruden, he gets some credit,
Yes.
and Kirk Cousins gets lots of credit, but I think all these things that we're talking about, the team chemistry, the veteran leadership, the good vibes, the familial, the whole thing, that's a general manager thing. That's what he's brought to the table, and it's a totally different team.
One more thing on the team chemistry thing.
Somebody go buy Scott a
That's
drink.
right.
One more thing on the team chemistry thing. Did you guys hear the Kirk Cousins mic'd up from the week before with the Bills?
Oh my God, that was the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but him sitting there with Sean McVay, and they're going back and forth about,
There was some insight there. That was pretty. Yeah. I don't think we were supposed to hear that type of thing.
Well, that I think McVay said, "I'm learning too." At one point, that tells you a lot about where this team is, and that's a good thing. Frankly, they should be feeling each other out and learning each other.
The crazy thing about the two of them, McVay's only 2 years older than Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
He's 29.
Wow.
Well, you know what I got out of that, other than the fact it was just an interesting little soundbite, was that maybe McVay really is the real play
I think
caller.
they've said that.
Because we've been back talking about this. Well, I mean, but we've had our
been a
doubts all year
circus
about who's calling the plays and all that. But that, it has. But that made me think that little snippet on the sideline where they were talking about that made me think that maybe McVay really kind of is the frontline play caller.
Yeah, or has become that now. Like they transition into it.
Right.
And he seems to be learning quite well. I mean, considering how we've been playing the past couple weeks, we've been a lot more aggressive. I mean, maybe not doing as well in the running game, but passing-wise, we are really taking
in the latter half of the season, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's become so much less tentative. I don't understand. That's what people like me who were criticizing, and Steve, I think, too, were criticizing Kirk Cousins in the beginning. We weren't doing the things that we're doing now at the beginning of this season. We really weren't.
I think the team would admit that,
Robbie
too.
Said.
No.
What'd you say?
I think the team will admit that, too, that they've changed.
Right. I mean...
Well, but the one thing this team needs to do better, though, they have to figure out how to run the ball better. That is a failure of the team. It's a failure of the offense. I think we've all kind of established that sort of everybody's at fault. The O-line hasn't blocked well in the run game at times. Both Alfred Morris and Matt Jones have looked bad at times, missed holes. I think everybody
the running
agrees
plays
that
are not
the running
that
back rotation has
inspiring.
just been – the running plays are telegraphed. They're not good, at all. There's a lot of blame to go around, but one way or another, that's going to have to be a major topic.
I wouldn't be surprised, and he might be a sacrificial lamb, but the running backs coach, Randy Jordan, will probably be replaced this year. And
he might deserve it.
I don't know if he's at fault for all of what we're seeing.
That's what I was going to say.
But
he's apparently at fault for the running back rotation, which has just been awful. But honestly, listen, I mean, Jay Gruden is a passing guy.
He's a West Coast offense
I don't think this team really Well, he's also a USFL guy, and they don't run the ball really in the USFL. I don't think it's really his emphasis. I think it kind of trickles down from the top. I don't think he really cares about the running game too much, and so the team hasn't really emphasized it. And listen, we're 8-7. Whatever we're doing is working.
Sort of.
But I think that has to change going forward. Even if we stay a short passing offense forever, we have to be able to run the ball effectively at times.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right
and that's what we've seen is when you can shut down Kirk Cousins or make him more one-dimensional, things don't work. We've seen that in the past.
Sure.
And we'll probably see it in the playoffs.
Really and truly, it's
you have to have that run to get the play action going.
Right.
Yeah.
That bootleg is vital to the passing game.
I'm just afraid of if Jordan Reed ever leaves, the field for whatever reason. That's
what
the
I'm
biggest
saying.
thing. He's really open. He's really opened up this offense.
Well, that's what I'm saying about
tremendously.
resting him next week. Maybe we should talk about players now that might rest next week, unless we still have thoughts on the game, because I know the game is awesome, but I'm so looking
to move
forward
on to that topic.
Yeah, I'm ready for the playoffs, guys. So excited about this. So yeah, I'm just making the argument, Steve, that why would you ever put someone like Jordan Reed out there in the last meaningless game of the regular season going into the playoffs? Well, I mean, why do it?
Oh boy, an argument. I think we ought to play all of our starters the entire game. No rest. Keep up the momentum.
Right.
One, it's Dallas week. Number one. Number
Dallas.
Two, this team is not that good, okay? We need to, and we're riding a wave of momentum. How many times in football and in other sports, basketball, baseball, have we seen where teams are riding a wave of momentum, and once it kind of crashes, it's over? It's what I wouldn't want to have happen is have this team take a week off. Number one, I think it's psychologically really good if we end up with a winning record instead of 8-8. Yeah, you're kind of legitimized if you have a 9-7 record. Nobody's going to argue that you're not a legitimate division winner. 8-8.
Of course, I get all of that,
or
but
playoff team.
Just three short years ago, our playoffs were cut short by injury. Why put guys with an injury history out there? Jordan Reed has one. I love the way he's playing, and I totally hear your momentum point. But shit, I mean, you also got to be careful with the superstars you have who have been fragile in the past.
Well, a couple points. One, you only get 45 guys to suit up. So even if you decide, hey, we're going to put Jordan Reed on the scratch list this week, or you can only do that with a handful of guys. So you're going to see most of the starters this week.
Yeah, there's only a handful of guys I think you should do it for.
I will be shocked if Trent Williams plays. He was kind of walking gingerly at the end of the game.
That's who I would rest of all of them.
He would be top of my list. I don't think you can rest Moses, sadly, because, then you are out.
Ty has to
play somewhere, and I would rather not put 68 in there all game long.
Fair.
Excuse me.
No.
I would start Cousins simply because he only needs 120 yards to get the Skins' all-time passing record.
Yeah, and Jordan Reed only needs one pass or something to beat Cooley's record or something.
And little things like that.
Yeah, I mean,
we were talking about momentum and building team confidence. Things like that are good for building team confidence and building that momentum a little bit more.
Right. So you can't argue one without the other. I agree.
Yeah. Now, the other point I'll just make, Dallas has no incentive to win this game.
Very true. They've been out of it the longest.
If we get up by 2 scores early, I have no problem with them saying, all right, Cousins, you're good. You got your little record. You got a touchdown. Let's put in Colt and see Colt get a couple reps. If we do that at halftime or maybe
if we get up in the game, yes.
Fine. The bigger question to me is who's going to be our running back most of that game, because I want to rest up whoever I want playing in week 1 of the playoffs.
I don't want to rest anybody. I mean, Trent may be the one player, like you guys said, we should rest. I think all the rest will need to play, keep doing what they're doing. Just keep it up, keep plugging away. Because
when I say rest up, Steve, I don't mean.
But what do you think
sit
will
on the bench? I mean, let's say if you're going to say Morse is going to start, our playoff game, only get him, a handful of reps next game instead.
Right.
He only gets a handful of reps. Anyway,
it's par for the course.
I mean, how's that going to be different?
He had 17 last week. Let's say he gets 8 this week. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, what I think will happen is no one's going to get rested. I think the players are going to want to play. They're not going to want to back out of a Dallas game. I think players
always want to play, don't they? Unless they're hurt.
I mean,
especially Dallas week.
See, I wonder about that, though. Sorry, go ahead, Robbie.
No, you're fine. I think some may want to rest because they know they're in the playoffs and they want to not put so much of a load on their body and that kind of thing. But this is the kind of exception you have to make. I mean, it's Dallas week. You want to get a good winning record going into the playoffs. Like you said, Steve, 8-8 doesn't look as good as 9-7 does, and you need to ride the stay on the momentum train. I mean, I would love to see them rest and still win, but as a player, you can't back out of this, and you really want to put a good stamp. Put a good stamp on the season in a big way.
Yeah, Dallas week playing for a winning record. You can't rest guys from that situation. To me,
I don't even care about Dallas anymore.
It's a great opportunity to really stomp them. I mean, you can really take this opportunity to kick the crap.
And after what they did to us the last time we played, I'm sure Deshaun Jackson would like a little revenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
'cause we know he's probably one of those guys who I would say, if you told him, hey, we're in the playoffs, normally I would imagine he would say, I'll sit on the bench more. Like, he just seems like that kind of guy, but he needs to redeem himself, so.
It's kind of ironic because it'd be better if Dallas won a game or two.
For us, big picture,
for in terms of the Redskins, just so they would have a worse, draft position.
But, I mean, and who knows what Dallas is going to do in the offseason, but they're probably going to have a new head coach.
They're going to be doing, there's going to be a lot of moves made in Dallas. Probably in Philly, too.
Yep.
All around the NFC East, frankly.
No.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Could be a crazy end of the season.
Isn't it wonderful to see Chip Kelly go down in a
Well, did you see his press conference when the lights got turned on?
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. Yes. That was the best thing I've ever seen.
That was so
Best thing
funny.
I've ever seen.
What happened?
He's
What
sitting there
happened
giving a
in
press conference, and he's answering some question about how he sucks, and the lights just go out like somebody left the
whole
building,
room goes
locked it
dark.
up, and turned the lights out on the way out. And he said out that he was like, "Oh, that's an omen,"
Right.
and it is,
Yeah,
Chip.
he said that, and
That's
then the
very
reporter
apropos.
in the crowd said, "Kind of ironic, isn't it?"
Right.
And then the first question after the lights came back on was about his job security.
So I think we're all in agreement, at least, that Trent, somebody who might be seriously injured, and we really can't survive the playoffs without him, he should
chill.
He should chill.
He should take a week.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Trent's played through a lot. And
he's a leader.
Trent, he was limp. Yeah, he was limping a little bit. And Trent Williams is not going to want to sit out. If the coaches give him an opportunity, I can guarantee you, Trent Williams is going to say, "I want to play."
I mean, that is his personality. He does not go down.
I feel like we learn. Hey, what do we learn from
No.
listening to players who want to play through injury in the playoffs? Ain't a good idea. It doesn't end up well. Sit their asses down and go into the playoffs strong.
No, we got to play, man.
Steve
we gotta
Shanahan
play.
over there.
Yeah, Steve Shanahan, son of a bitch.
Well, I'm not to say if a guy's limping around on a torn MCL as your quarterback, I'd leave him
Trent's
in there to
MCL's been
get
sprained,
destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
that's the
wasn't a
point.
fair comparison for me to make. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have said that.
Only Master of Evil doth.
God, we got to do a special Star Wars show. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk about playoffs, guys. Fucking playoffs.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So let's talk a little. Let's do a little playoff matchup scenario run through here. So somebody please explain it to me because that never makes sense to me.
All
but
right.
as I understand it, we're looking at Seattle or Minnesota.
It's fairly complicated. There is a scenario where Green Bay could be in play too. If Seattle, the basic deal here is that right now. Let me back up. We are locked in. Period
Right.
to the fourth
Home
seed
field
in the playoffs. No matter what happens, we're going to be the fourth seeds. We are going to host a wild card game. Our wild card opponent will be the fifth seed, which is the first wild card team, because the sixth seed, the second wild card team, will be the 3 seed, and then the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye. So, who is going to be the 5 seed? Right now, today, it is Seattle. Because they're 9-5. The other wild card team right now is Minnesota. They're 9-5, and so by the various tiebreakers and whatnot, the bottom line here is if Seattle wins 2 games, we're going to face Seattle. Minnesota's behind them by tiebreakers. There's a weird scenario wherein if Seattle loses and Minnesota wins and Green Bay loses, we could actually end up with the Green Bay Packers as a wild card team. That's the least likely option. The most likely option is that if sort of status quo
Seattle
is
wins
maintained,
twice.
that Seattle is going to
Because they've won 5 in a row.
Even if they win, if they win one, even if Seattle wins one and Minnesota wins one, the status quo will be maintained and it will be Seattle. So, if for those of you out there who are rooting for Minnesota, you need to root for Seattle to lose twice. Basically, it's a little bit more complicated than
Right.
that.
So
That's
that's just
likely.
crazy to me, guys, that we're most likely shaping up for this exact same
Every
matchup.
time.
Yep.
This really blows my mind.
Every time
Yep.
Yeah.
we go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of boring. It's kind of like the Redskins always play like the St. Louis Rams. It's like it'd be nice to get a weird game in there somewhere, but
Right.
it's the same matchup we've seen. Now, it would be nice victory. Let's admit that.
Yeah, it would.
And that would exercise demons.
Yeah, but I'd
and
rather
hopefully
win.
this season's starting to be a let's exercise some demons year.
True.
Yeah, like
I just think Seattle would be a much, much better matchup for us. Seattle is number one. They know how to beat us, and they have beat us. They're Super Bowl proven. Minnesota's led by a young quarterback. They're a little bit one-dimensional in that, if you stop Adrian Peterson, life goes wrong for them. So if you could allow me to pick the opponent, I would rather pick the Vikings. Forget the exercise and the demon.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I agree with that.
And so if it was me to pick, I would pick.
But see, you're conservative in your.
Because I don't want to face Aaron
conservative
Rodgers
in your
either.
matchup, but you're not conservative in your resting of players. See, that I find is interesting.
Wait, no, I want to maintain the status quo. Being a conservative is all about maintaining the status quo. I'm saying we need to keep rolling, keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, trust me, I don't disagree with you. It would be.
I would argue you fruity liberals are the ones that are, let's just
Hey, I'm
let
no
the players
fruity liberal.
rest. Let's forget about the status quo. Let's
Hey,
break.
don't you
forward.
put me in the category of fruity liberals? Fruity liberal sounds like a delicious cereal, by the way. Yeah. No, trust me, I'm not disagreeing with you. I would be much more confident seeing Minnesota as the opponent, and trust me, I hope that I really do hope that that's the way it turns out. But it would be nice, and for some reason, I feel like we have a better chance. Ooh, this is going to be an incendiary comment. I feel like we have a better chance of beating Seattle this year than we did in 2012. Oh boy, don't kill me, Steve.
I don't know, man. Forget the Robert Griffin stuff, and
Right.
I still believe in the guy.
Me too.
But it doesn't matter now. Seattle's
You're
got
right.
on a roll recently. They
They're on
started
fire.
off the season. They were
You're
not
right.
playing well. They're on fire.
Last 5 weeks
right now, and so that is not the team we want to roll into. We want to roll into the Big Jack and
I say bring it on. I want us to knock them out, and I want to do it in a grand, epic style. I really want to, this past couple weeks has been breaking trends. Like I've said in a lot of the game previews, we've been breaking trends. We finally won a road game. We won back-to-back games. We won primetime last night and on the road. We got to beat Seattle. We have to beat them to really get over the hill. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want us to do that in grand fashion.
it is gearing up to be such a
let's
poetic
just talk
moment.
about
It
who
is.
they're-
Sorry, go ahead.
We are recording this on Sunday afternoon. The Seahawks have the Rams today, and the Vikings have the
Vikings
Giants.
will win the Giants.
today.
Pretty sure about that. Actually, I feel pretty sure both will win
Maybe.
this week.
No Odell Beckham.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then next
That's right.
week, the Vikings have the
Right.
Packers. And if you give me a second, I will tell you about the Seahawks because I need to pull that up because I wasn't
that's
really
all right.
ready, so I'm ranting.
Well, see, Robbie, you say beatable. I never
I'm
would
not-
assume that Green Bay, Minnesota is an easy win for either team.
No,
I mean,
I'm saying the Packers are
Yeah.
beatable. They're not what
okay.
they used to be. I mean, Aaron
Right.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, and Seattle has the Cardinals. By
That's
the way.
a loss for
Seattle has
Seattle, in my
Cardinals
opinion.
next week.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The Cardinals might be one to rest players. The Cardinals are way
I don't
ahead.
think
They
Bruce
may,
Arians is that type of coach.
well, you know what? They may have a bye locked in this week. There's a scenario where they will have, if they win and something else happens, they can have
Right.
a bye locked up. That might be a scenario where maybe
Okay,
want to
wait.
rest guys. I think
Maybe, but
Yeah,
then
that's
you're
no
giving your
good.
guys 2 weeks off.
that may be true. Yeah,
Well,
you're
I mean,
right.
you
I
could do
wouldn't
the
that
half
if we
bye
give them 2
thing where
weeks off, so
you treat
that's
it like a
true.
preseason game. You start your starters for a quarter, then you bench them or start pulling
That's a good
guys.
point.
But you're right, though, Robbie. Bruce Arians is
Yeah.
kind of old school. I like that guy. So he may
a
not.
hell of a
you're-
coach.
Yeah, he may not want to do that. But point is, that's a
Wait.
tough game. So it's.
Wait, so Steve, they have Cardinals. You're saying Seahawks and Cardinals this week, and then what's the next matchup or next week?
No. I'm saying Seahawks and Cardinals
Seahawks,
next
Rams.
week.
Okay.
Seahawks, Rams, then Seahawks, Cardinals.
Seahawks, Rams.
So
this
yeah,
week.
that's going to
Seahawks-
be a loss.
Yeah.
I mean a win and a loss situation. They're not going to lose to.
Well,
likely.
maybe. I don't know. Seattle's playing really, really
Wait,
well.
Yeah,
is it in
I know.
Arizona or in Seattle?
So are the Cardinals, though.
And it's in
Okay.
Arizona.
That helps,
That's
Well, yeah, we'll be seeing the Seahawks.
probably.
It's both West Coast. They're both West Coast teams, though. There's no,
No,
time
but
difference.
it's more the playing in
Seahawks-
Seattle
Seahawks-
versus not playing in Seattle situation.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Seattle's a different team on the road. I mean,
Right.
they're still pretty good, but they're not dominant like they are at home.
True.
And that's the other thing we got going for us. I mean, that year in 2012, they were a fantastic team, but I mean, we were up ahead of them by a lot until
We
Robert
should have
got
won
hurt.
that game. Yeah, if we don't, who wants to relive that? But I think if the coaching staff had played that situation a little smarter, we probably would have won
Maybe.
that game.
I mean, the
you know?
smart thing to do would have also probably lost us the game, and it would have saved Griffin's career
Maybe.
in all likelihood. But that's a tricky
Yeah.
situation.
But anyway, point being is it appears as though it's likely that the Vikings have a good shot to win both games, wherein Seattle has a really
yeah.
tough game next
Yeah.
week. If that
Although-
if that trend holds true, then we would
Right.
face the Vikings.
Wasn't there one year where the first round of the playoffs we played the Vikings first and then played the Seahawks?
No, we played
Or am I making
Tampa
a long
Bay, then the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
we played
We
Vikings
played the Vikings
in
in
the
the
playoffs one
playoffs, I
time.
think.
that was a million years ago. Yeah, not recently.
It was like Adrian Peterson's rookie or second year.
It might have been pre-Adrian
I can't
Peterson,
remember.
Robbie. No.
I don't think it
Okay,
was.
now I'm gonna have to go look.
That,
it
well,
up. Thanks a
then
lot.
it only could have been that one
We can-
year that Gibbs
me
went
one
on
second.
the playoff run, right?
Well, the playoff run was
Just everybody
his
relax.
second year. We
yeah,
went
I want to
Tampa
say
Bay,
it was
then
the
Seattle.
Todd Collins year.
Right. See, that would be.
You know what? You may be right, Robbie. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
only
looking
year
it
it
up.
could have been. So.
Yeah.
This is where ProFootballReference.com is
Yeah.
a great
Nice little
site.
plug. Yeah.
Plug for them.
I was
Yeah,
on there
plug for them.
earlier.
Give us a sponsor,
to
guys.
try and calculate how many yards Kirk needed to beat the record. So I love their site.
Well, while Steve's looking that up, I
Sure.
guess we can give out game balls.
Yeah, God, don't make me decide for this one. Shit.
Oh, I think this one's on offense. It's a Oprah Winfrey situation, right? I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah, everybody gets one. Yeah,
Yeah.
look under your seat. You all have a nice gift out game ball.
No, you can't do that. Everybody gets a
No, we'll pick
trophy.
them.
My
You want to start,
goodness.
Alex?
Okay,
Or I
yeah.
can if you want.
People.
Sure, I
Go
will. I will start, and I'm going to say, on offense, let's. I'm going to do the easy one and just say Kirk. 4
Yeah.
touchdowns again. 120 rating.
300 yards
60
plus.
368, something like that. A lot of yards. He's probably going to set the all-time record for the Redskins. He's broken a bunch of records this week. Oh, we hit our 600 all-time win. We didn't mention that.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
they-
did see they had that graphic popped up that were like, yeah, the all-time win leaders, and it's just the oldest teams.
Well, yeah, it helps.
Would
it
you
helps
look at
being,
that?
almost 100 years old.
Exactly.
I mean, the Cardinals were
No,
on
they
that list,
weren't.
for goodness sakes, and they've
No, they
been
weren't.
lousy.
No, it was
I thought they were.
Chicago,
Really?
Green
That's right.
Bay, New York, Pittsburgh, and us.
Yeah, fucking New York, man. That's the real rival, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sorry. They've always said so. Anyway, okay, so that's
Yeah.
my offense. I'll go Kirk. And
Defensive
then
game
on
ball, yeah.
defense is trickier. I'm going to go D-Hall for that, fumble for a touchdown.
That was the momentum changer.
Yep.
That's a good call.
was a
Good
big one.
call. Yeah.
All right. Well, offensively for me, I'm gonna go. I want to give it to Jordan Reed. Again, Kirk Cousins is
Do what
obvious.
you
Jordan
want,
Reed is
Sean.
obvious.
Do what you want.
I'm gonna give it to Mr. Garcon because I feel like he's come alive so much towards the end of the season.
Okay.
I mean, everybody had big games, but he really came through clutch. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him.
Everyone's
really
giving
made
you
some
a
tough
subtle
catches.
head nod.
It's
All
incredible.
right,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah,
Good
I
call,
got
good
the
call.
approval. The Hawks eye approval.
Self-clap.
Yeah. So defensively, you could go so many ways. You could go Preston Smith. You could go. You know what I'm going to do?
Some
I'm going to do
people
kind of the
this
same
way,
thing.
some
I'm going to go
people
Will
this way,
Compton.
some people go both ways, and they're greedy.
right. I'm going to go Compton because he, I have to kind of eat my words from a couple weeks ago. I think he's really come alive too. He's made some clutch plays as well, and like you said, Robbie, during the show, I mean, he's been huge for us. So I'm gonna give it to him. I like giving it to the guys who we haven't given it to throughout the season.
He's kind of charismatic too. Guys seem to feed
Yeah.
off of him. He's got a.
And he was doing some funny tweeting when we didn't talk about this, but 3 a.m. the team arrives back at Landover and all the fans are waiting for them. He had some funny tweets about it.
Yeah.
Were Sean and Alex out there outside Redskins Park waiting at
God,
3
no.
a.m. for the team
I
to
was on a run
sleeping
for
like a baby.
7 hours. Do you think I wanted to stay at Dulles or go from National to Dulles to greet the team?
Right.
My game balls are super easy.
Yeah,
Jordan
cool.
Reed,
Fair
Preston
enough.
Smith. Jordan Reed was. I think Jordan Reed was the difference maker in the game. He had a little bit of a slower second half, but the first half, it was Jordan Reed's play was the one that really kept opened up our offense and extended our lead. I thought Jordan Reed, without a shadow of a doubt, was a difference maker,
Right.
including Kirk Cousins. I gave Kirk a game ball last week, people, so for you guys who think I hate him, don't hate him. But I think Jordan Reed was the difference maker. And I Preston
Yeah,
Smith,
great
boy,
game.
you guys, was it you that Robbie that said, he's really come on in the past few weeks?
Yeah.
He really has. But a guy who got 3 sacks, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have 3 sacks?
Damn.
And a forced fumble.
Yeah, you can't. I can't not
Our
give
edge
it
guys
to
have been
Preston
getting
Smith.
much
So there you
much
go,
better
Preston.
pressure, all of them. Like I don't know Kerrigan, I don't think he had a sack, but he also was doing great.
I want to give an honorable mention
Mm-hmm.
to Deshaun Goldson, just because this is sort of a season-long honorable mention. He did have 10 tackles. He was our leading tackler again yesterday. But this is kind of a season appreciation award from me to him.
Yeah.
Because he's really been – I think he is underrated amongst the Redskins fan base because they've just seen just sucky, free safety play for so long. Trust me, people, when we say that Deshaun Goldson has made
He's
a
not
world
the
of
problem.
difference back there.
Nope.
No, he's part of the solution. So I give him an honorable mention, game ball.
I'm pretty much right with you, Steve. I want to give it to Jordan Reed, but, Kirk, right after that last play in the first half, Kirk could have just,
Melted down.
He could have melted away and really wet the bed and completely just fizzled under all that, scrutiny that he would have gotten for for that kneel down. But he stepped up. He led the team to a win. Defense helped out with that touchdown by D. Hall, but, he's really growing as a quarterback, I think, and he's carrying this team on his shoulders without a running game right now. So I'm giving it to Kirk for offense, and then defense, absolutely, Preston Smith. I don't know if you guys heard this, but before the game earlier that day, Preston Smith's cousin, I wanted to say her name was Donna, passed away due to cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, really?
And he had dedicated the game to her. He called her one of her, felt like he lost a best friend type thing. So he dedicated the game to her and got 3 sacks and had his breakout game, so to speak. And
thoughts and prayers to Preston on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hogstye condolences to him.
I'm sure everyone here has lost people to cancer and
absolutely
some kind of untimely disease. It's never pleasant.
Tell you what, I don't go out and get 3 sacks after it happens to me though. That's huge.
No.
So
I go
thank
out
you
and
for
get,
your service.
Hammered or something, but
Right.
he plays better. I do things that are bad for me.
Right. You and me both.
So keep it up.
Yeah, keep up the momentum. Yeah, keep up. This was an incredible victory, very enlightening. Yeah, people soldiering on through personal tragedy. What a season they're putting together,
Let's
and the
also
fans
just
are
do
really
a quick
rewarded.
honorable game ball for the front office, by the way.
yeah.
McLuhan, and I'm even going to say Bruce and Dan. Dan mostly for staying out of it.
Yeah, hey, that's an achievement.
Yeah,
There is an Executive of the Year award, right?
I think so.
There is.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
If there is, who else deserves that award more than Scott McLuhan?
Nobody.
No one.
Hey, you guys want me to surprise you? Because I've spewed all sorts of Gruden hatred for about 1.5 years now. I think if you look at things objectively, which, I pride myself on trying my best to do that, the way the team is turned around this year, you have to think that Jay probably is at least in the running for Coach
Makes
of the
me
Year.
sick.
I don't think he will because
He's at least one of the candidates.
I just
because he's Jay and he doesn't deserve it. And he
Bruce
sucks,
Arians
but
is going to get it, or
No, Ron
Rivera.
Rivera.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
It's gotta be Rivera.
I'm just saying he ought to at least be in the discussion for turning a team where he did not look good last year. He was a terrible coach last year, and this year he's been a lot better. And the team's gone
True.
from 4th to 1st. He ought to at least be worthy of.
But the
I
realities
agree
will
with
catch
that.
up with him and keep him out from winning that, being that they can't string
Of
together
course.
multiple wins,
Right,
and
right.
they were, not even throughout the whole season. But anyways, he's going to get a look because he has done something.
yeah.
Anyways, this is a great. I love the game balls. This is a great situation to be in because you can't decide who to give them to. So
Right.
this was an awesome game.
Right.
Good stuff. We got another game this week, though I don't care. Though it seems like you guys think we should put the pedal to the metal against the Cowboys, and you're not
Dallas.
wrong. So
Beat Dallas.
Beat Dallas.
Yeah,
I
you're not
think
wrong.
We should go to Dallas, say, here's $20, just lose the game because it'll help your draft spot,
Yeah.
and I'm happy.
right.
Jerry's all about money, baby. He'll take it. Why don't you, let's pool our money We'll offer him $50 between the four of us because it's all we can afford.
Yeah.
We'll I have a
Can one of you
hotline to
spot me
Jerry
for that,
Jones.
by
I
the
can
way?
get it. I can get a hold of him. I can at least get a hold of his
Gentleman's bet
office.
of $1.
So we'll
Yeah,
offer
there
it
you
to
go.
him.
That I might be able to actually afford. All right. All right, well, anyways, we'll see you next week before I get into my depressing financial situation. We've got an awesome game next week, so stick with us. We're going to do a preview show for the Cowboys. It'll be great. We got a recap coming up after that, and then we're in the playoffs, so exciting stuff coming up for the Hogsty soon. Stick with us. So happy to be here with you. We'll see you next time.
You like that?
I do.
No.